being a kid that grew up in the early to mid 80s, I grew up with a lot of Muppets, The Muppet Show, Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, all those great Jim Henson productions that he put out in the early to mid 80s. I loved every minute of them. Loved them so much. And so when I saw Land of Eam on social media and now on BackerKit, I was super excited. And I couldn't wait to talk a little bit more about it and find out a little bit more about it. So today we have James Parks and Ben Costa, the co-designers of Land of Eam, on. It's on BackerKit right now, so if you would like to check it out, the link is in the description below. So feel free to check on that. They've unlocked all sorts of stretch goals and all sorts of different perks. So feel free to take a look at the campaign, see if it's of interest to you, and back it, because I think it's a really cool product, and I'm very, very excited for them. So stick around. We're talking Land of Eam with James and Ben. Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. Today on the show, we're talking Land of Eam with the co-creators James Parks and Ben Costa. Before we begin, if you are interested in anything that we're talking about and you enjoy the session, please hit that like button down below. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you as part of our YouTube community, and all that stuff helps us grow as a show as well, so we can feature great RPG creators and publishers like James and Ben. All right. You didn't come here to listen to me talk. Let's get the two gentlemen on that are the masterminds behind this project that's just rocking BackerKit, James and Ben. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the success so far of
Land
of Eam. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I saw it on social media. Actually, I'll be honest. At Origins, Justin from Exalted Funeral pulled me aside and was like, "Doug, we've got this really cool project. We got this really cool thing that's coming to crowd funding." Because I don't think he said it was BackerKit at that point, but
it was like still on the down low.
Yeah, I think it was still on the down low. And he's like, "Yeah, I think you're really going to be in. It's really going to be something you're into." I'm like, "Well, as soon as you can talk about it, Justin, let me know." And then, sure enough, a few days later, Land of Eam was all over my social media feed, which is super, super cool. And I'm excited to have you on. Thank you so much for giving your time tonight.
Thanks. We're happy to be here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Do you want to introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and we'll talk a little bit about the BackerKit campaign that you've got going on after. James, would you like to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I'm James, as the nameplate says, and I've been. Not a lot of people know this, maybe more now, but Ben and I have been best friends since we were in the second grade, and so we've been creatively together for a long time, making comics and writing short stories and goofy movies in high school. But we grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games and reading comics, and we always knew that we wanted to get into the world of comics, games, books, and here we are.
That's awesome.
That's basically it.
I love it. I love the fact that you guys have been friends since childhood. I think that's super awesome and that's super special, and it just shows that you've got like a really huge passion about creating this world that you're creating. Ben, I'll let you go next. Who would you like to introduce yourself? And
what can I add to that?
I don't know.
James and I, in addition to making Land of Eam, we are authors of. First thing I got it on my desk here is Dungeoneer Adventures. This just came out. It's a middle grade series. Perfect for growing gamers. It's about a kid who's a student at a school for adventurers. So that's a new thing we just started, and then we've also done a fantasy graphic novel series called Rickety Stitch and the Gelatinous Goo, which is about a skeleton bard who goes on a quest to discover who he was when he was alive.
I love that.
And So James and I write everything together. I'm the artist, and then for Land of Eam, we've actually teamed up with some other artists who are doing more art for the Land of Eam. So we've got, Justin Gerard doing cover art for the book. He's one of our favorite artists who does these really, painterly fantasy drawings. John Lauren is doing the cover for Muckland Sandbox, and we just we're working tons with tons of people, and it's been an awesome experience.
It's great. I'm super excited about this collaboration that you've got, because not only are you working with a really great publisher, someone that I've been keeping an eye on, and I know the industry's been keeping an eye on for quite some time, Exalted Funeral, who just puts out some really great stuff. So I was really excited to see you all collaborate with them. But not only that, but you decided to use BackerKit as a crowdfunding platform, which I love the fact that you're kind of leading the way for this industry and for this hobby to use that platform for crowdfunding, because I feel that I feel you're going to set the trend. Like, your success is going to be noticed by a lot of folks, and you're going to see a lot more publishers, designers, creators follow suit here in the weeks, months, and years to come, I think, for BackerKit. So that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't think that's something that we fully realized getting into this, but
yeah, I mean, it's always great to see alternatives, and like Land of Eam is an indie game, Exalted Funeral is an indie publisher.
Right.
It's like a BackerKit has been a tool that have been used by creators like in the back end of Kickstarter for so long. It was only natural that partnering with BackerKit to launch this new thing seemed like an awesome idea. And we feel like we got lucky to be a part of this this new push. They reached out to us, and they were really nice, and they've been really supportive, and it's been a lot of fun.
Anytime I've had any interaction with them at conventions, they're super, super nice, and they always want to know, what can we do better, or what is there any feedback for us to make our platform, more efficient for you all. And so I'm really, really excited to see what their potential here. Let's show let's bring your campaign up on screen and show a little show folks about your campaign.
There it is.
Look at that, 168,000 plus as of this broadcast. 1,731 backers so far. That's just awesome. I think that's super, super cool, and like I said, it's going to definitely pave the way. I love this cover graphic that you have right there. Love it. It's very. I think I read somewhere it's like Muppets meets Lord of the Rings, and I think that's exactly how I would describe that image right there, and I just so captivating.
Yeah, that's by Justin Gerard. I designed those characters, and then he kind of put it into his style, and that's kind of in the whole process, kind of like art directing these amazing artists, like my cartoony little style, and watching them just
sure.
Yeah. It's like suddenly this amazing,
awesome.
Yeah, this painterly piece of art that's just so fantastic and tells so many stories. It's great.
That's awesome. This project has you're looking to fund or create 3 books. You've got a core rule book. You've got a campaign sandbox book called the Mucklands, and then you also have a bestiary. And I'm just going to let folks know right ahead, these aren't small books by any chance. These are big, huge. How big is the core rule book approximately at this point? It's 250 pages, I think.
I mean, it's probably around 200 pages, I would say. We don't have a final page count.
Sure,
it's around there.
The big giant book is the Sandbox, and that's around 400 pages.
That's crazy.
It is just packed full of locations. There's 6 regions in the Mucklands realm, and each one has its own vibe. It's got different terrain, each one. So there's a swamp, there's a coast, there's plains. There's like what's called river country. It's just full of a billion rivers. And within each of those, there's just in total, I mean, there's over 100 locations, like almost 500 NPCs. We haven't even counted the quests and rumors yet, but there's
a lot.
That's great.
There's several per location.
So like anywhere you go, you will have material, and that's kind of how we play it. It's like I don't even obviously I have the benefit of like knowing a lot, but when we play, I'm usually GMing, and I don't have to prepare anything. I
love that.
They just go wherever they want, and I have the sandbox to back me up.
Yeah, it's all about riffing on ideas that are in that sandbox and just using those tools and making it your own. Because the Mucklands is gigantic. It like each region is a campaign setting in itself, and there's 6 of them. And so one of the things we did when we were putting it together in the first place is we really wanted to make it gameable and make it so that it's not like you're adhering to the super structured campaign storyline necessarily. You can use it any way you want, and there are stories in there, but it's up to you what you want to do and how you want to approach it.
I love that. I love that. And since it's 400 pages, it must be built. You said that this Land of Eam setting is based on your comics. How long have you been doing these comics for, and your graphic novels? As you said, the Dungeoneer book it just came out, but the Rickety book has it been out for a while?
Yeah,
it's been up since 2016.
Okay, so
17
it was
published, but
I
we've been working
on
it. We created Rickety Stitch when we were in college, so that was
I love that
20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that hit me hard.
Yeah, we're used to saying 15 years.
Yeah, we've been saying 15
now
years.
It's 20. Yeah, no, I hear you there.
For 20 years. Yeah, but the world started really formulating when we were in college, and then Rickety Stitch came along. The 3rd book was released relatively recently. It was released in 2021. And in the process of writing that story, we were building this world relatively naturally. And then we talked quite a while ago about putting together like a Rickety Stitch RPG, and that spitballed into, well, what if we make the Land of Eam the basis for the RPG, like make the actual world and setting the character, and then then it just opened up a lot of doors. It's a big world. We can tell lots of stories in it. Dungeoneer Adventures is a great example because it also takes place in the Land of Eam.
Nice.
And now we have plans for other sandboxes to go along with plans for other series as well. So I mean, there's just a ton in the works.
Okay.
And one funny thing that like not a lot of people realize, but Rickety Stitch walks across the Mucklands in like the first 50 pages of the first graphic novel.
Yeah.
So like all that happens here,
much of it is a montage, I should say.
Wow.
So yeah, this is like where Rickety Stitch started his journey, but he goes all over the place.
Yeah, we owe at least 3 more sandboxes, plus we've got plans for half a dozen others.
That's very cool. So the system that this RPG uses is a D12 system. This is a system that you created on your own. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how the mechanics of the system works? Because I'll tell you what, you make reference that the D12 is very little used, and I totally agree with that. There are a few RPGs that I love that use the D12, but it's very few and far between. So I as soon as I saw that you use the D12, I'm like, yes, fine. Let's get another one on the board about that uses a really cool D20 system or D12 system. So you want to talk a little bit about the system itself?
Sure. We chose a D12 because obviously it's like the best die. We've gone over that.
I was about to
It
say.
rolls the best. But the real reason is, a lot of games are using 2d6, which is great. But I think we wanted to have more variance, but still kind of work within those parameters of a powered by the apocalypse game. So it's kind of it's inspired by Dungeon World and also Star Wars: Edge of the Empire, where you have what do you call it? Variations on success and failure. So you can have a success with a twist, failure with a plus. Complete failure where you have a complication happening, or a complete success where there's something added that's awesome. But you're also not having that bell curve of the 2d6 where most of the results are like, in the middle, success with a twist. And that's just our personal preference of how we like to play. We like complications. We like things going crazy in the wrong way and in the right way.
Yeah, that's totally right, because that's how you propel one of the core purposes of Land of Eam, which is to inspire people to come up with creative solutions instead of just swinging a sword. It's all about collaborating, teamwork, and coming up with those wacky ideas that just might work. And if they don't work, that just propels the story forward. It propels the conflict forward. And those are the sessions that Ben and I feel are the ones we really remember and have the most fun with.
Absolutely.
And so how do you just like use every tool at your disposal to engineer a game that creates wacky situations?
And I love how you've got this like built in where it's not like a yes or no like answer whenever somebody makes a roll. It's like it's like yes and or no but. I love it when systems like build that in, so then that way it just keeps making things go forward in the session. And like you said, it creates some really great memorable moments. And I love that. You sent over the quick start and some pre-gen characters, and we're excited we're going to show that off next week on a session. And I'm already, the gears are already churning as I'm looking through the material you sent over.
Awesome. Can't wait for that.
Yeah. We're excited to do it. I'm going to show off the box set. So this is not only are you doing three books, but you're actually doing an all-inclusive like box set that has everything. It's got a map, meeples, and then you've got the PDFs and everything. You've actually unlocked a whole bunch of other stretch goals as well, some content and some more. Let's just actually show a book of random encounters PDF.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a beast.
That's crazy. You guys keep on adding like more and more content, and it's like these books enough are just like, and then you're like, yeah, let's do this random book of encounters. It's a 1500. It's like, wow, what are these guys just like must just like sit down and like. I love the fact that you just want to like keep building this world and everything, but holy smoke, you guys are just adding so much content to this pledge, to these pledges. How big is that book of random encounters, do you think, at this point?
Well, there's 1,500 in there.
Yeah.
And they're not. It's probably.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and they're not like you encounter 4 kobolds encounters. You encounter a situation, and what we've discovered is those situations can oftentimes end up being the most fun you'll have in the entire adventure.
Right.
And so when we have a live stream, we play with each other like every week, because of course we do. Absolutely. And we've had entire like 2-hour sessions that are just spun off from a random encounter that we just entrenched ourselves in because it was so fun and interesting. Just awesome. Amazing where it can go when people are just riffing off each other.
Yeah.
And I think the book is probably going to be 100 pages or so, and we could have jammed it all into the Sandbox or the core rulebook, but it just felt like too much. And so we're going to have a pared down random encounter table for the core rulebook, and then this is like, if you want the whole thing, this is another resource.
Very cool. I love that. You've unlocked a online random. What is it? Online random generators. So you're just going to be able to random, like, kind of. We've seen a couple of systems do this. I know Morkborg does this. They do a random character generator for players in a random dungeon. So you've got something that's are either of you in charge of doing this, or did you know somebody that will do this online random generator program, which I think is awesome, and it's a huge plus for anybody that is putting a system out.
Yeah.
So
Totally. It's a resource that we would love to have for ourselves when we played. And so we thought, okay, everybody needs this. And we do have it all planned out. We've got all the tables ready to go. And we're working with a friend of ours who's going to be engineering it and releasing it on the landofbeam.com website. And so all you need to go is to the RPG section, resources, and you'll be able to randomly generate NPCs, towns, taverns, dungeons, treasure, and magical items.
I love that. And then you've got another Mucklin's Explorer Guide PDF. So this is kind of in addition to the Sandbox book, I'm assuming, but this is just for the players to use.
Yeah, it's like a pared down version of the Sandbox, not giving away all of the plot threads and secret things, but kind of a gazetteer for them to see. So something to spark their imagination and kind of drive play beyond being reliant on the GM all the time.
Sure.
Just thought it would be an awesome resource for players just to get excited about things.
Yeah, like a spoiler-free what's going on in Bogtown. I really want to check this out. Or that guy looks interesting, or she looks like she's got a cool quest, or things of that nature.
Very cool. And then a Sandbox expansion used to be Forest. I love the name of that, by the way. That's awesome. And is that going to be added to the Sandbox, the campaign book, or is that okay?
It is. It
nice.
is.
And then you've got a Bard Meeple, and then you've also got it looks like you just unlocked an adventure module by cartoonist JP Covert. Is it
Covert? Yeah, JP
Covert.
Great cartoonist. Really, he's really looking forward to the adventure. He's going to do a hijinks adventure for the Land of Eam, and it's going to involve pirates.
Wow.
So yeah, we've been acquaintances with JP for a long time. Just known him through the comics world, and then Zine Quest last year, we both backed each other's projects. And his Zine Quest project is called Dragon Town.
Okay.
And it kind of launched. He's been working on it ever since. He's been adding like zine adventures to his world. So he's doing that on his Patreon, and they're just really amazing. He draws all of them, and they're just like little short adventures. And we thought this would be perfect to do something like that for Land of Eam.
His body of work is just astounding.
Yeah,
that's very cool. That's awesome.
It fits right in his style and tone.
Yeah,
nice. And then you've got a whole bunch of other Kickstarters or stretch goals that you've gotten listed as well that you haven't that you're in the process of unlocking. Let's show off some of the this folk species of this setting, because I love the look and I love the feel. Like, this is very, like, when we said Muppets meets like Lord of the Rings, it also kind of feels a little bit of like was it Adventure Time a little bit? Yeah. I think I get a little bit of that vibe. So I love that you have like 16 folk species, and they're all different. And a lot of these, like, I've never, like, you can play as like a gelatinous goo. Like, I really hope that one of my players, like, in the session come up, plays a gelatinous goo, because I know that's one of the NPCs, or that's one of the pre-gens that you sent over. But there's just so many different folk species in this game. I love it.
Yeah, we felt like we had to have a gelatinous goo and a skeleton because of our comic.
It just would be unacceptable to have Land of Eam without Rickety and Goo represented in some way.
Absolutely.
And then you've got your gnome, who doubles as a class. So when you're a gnome, you can only be a gnome. Nothing else can be a gnome.
Okay.
And they're like...
it's like old school D&D.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, they're sort of like a cross between rangers and magic users.
Nice. Now this is it's kind of a lower fantasy setting, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Like not everybody has, like nobody has, like not a lot of the species have like access to like magical powers, but they have magic. They can have magical items, if I'm not mistaken. Is that kind of how it works with this?
We like to say it's like a low magic,
or low magic. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like a low magic. It's a little bit low fantasy. There's not, and it's both.
No, I meant to say low magic. So it's not like a super.
It's definitely low magic, but it's a magical world, and there's magic all around. And the players and the GMs can see that there's like magical items and magical locations and magical characters that exist, but not in a super traditional sense where there's a bunch of wizards running around, because there are none.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
Very cool. That's something we kind of would say we were inspired by the Lord of the Rings with that. The idea that being a wizard is a really special thing, and everyone else is not quite there.
Sure.
Yeah, all the gnomes are like little Gandalfs running around.
Yeah.
I love that. And then you've got what are these classes?
Yeah,
you got
classes.
Bard, Dungeoneer, the gnome, which you said, the knight errant, the loyal chum, and the rascal. Well, you can just tell that there's just so much character and so much kind of whimsy into this, but I'm sure you can kind of just play it as to however much, you can probably play it really dark if you wanted to, or if you wanted to add it to, you wanted to make it kind of whimsical, you could as well. So you kind of make it your own.
Yeah, the out of the box, there are dark elements to it, so you are kind of capturing this juxtaposition between Muppets and a world where there's a dark lord looming over it, and we really love that combination. So it actually is pretty dangerous if you want it to be. I mean, you can adjust it to your own tastes, but characters don't have a lot of hit points, which is called courage in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some adversaries that can actually deal out quite a bit of damage, called dread. And so, it's not a game where you can just go around slaying everything that you want. It's like,
and that was by design.
Mm-hmm.
That was by design. The game is about negotiation, creativity, not about getting on a hex and fighting another hex. It's just not. That's just not the game. So there's definitely some lethality if you try to play it that way.
Sure, I love it where fighting is probably your last option. Like you try, like that's probably the option that you want to not go for. You want to probably either run, talk it out, or find some sort of other way around it. And speaking of,
I was just going to say, sometimes fighting when you're playing it seems unavoidable. So you will get into some scrapes.
Sure.
And we try to make combat like fast in that regard.
Okay.
So there's a counterattack mechanic. So when you're rolling a 6 through an 8, it means you hit with a counterattack, and the enemy you or the enemy, whoever's attacking or whatever. So if you're attacking the enemy and you roll a 6 through 8, they can counterattack against you, and vice versa.
Very cool. Speaking of enemies, let's. I noticed this. You've got a bestiary book, which was one of the 3 books. Now, immediately, it says Volume 1, so that leads me to believe that you've got a Volume 2, a Volume 3, or more volumes that planned after this initial release of these products. Is that what I'm supposed? Is that a safe assumption that you've got more bestiary books that
we do?
Awesome.
That's safe to say.
Awesome, very cool.
Our initial plans right now are to release sandboxes and kind of build up more adversaries, like a list, and then eventually, I'm not sure at what point, but we'll compile those into a second volume.
Very cool. Awesome. Again, I just love the art.
This is done by Sean Kiernan. You can follow him on Instagram at Mostly Ghostly, and he's does a ton of the creatures and critters that are that are in this, and he's also the cover artist.
So good. It's so what would you say is like the typical age range for this for your setting and for your game? I guess it kind of depends on the the child or the kid as well. But what your target demographic do you think for Land of Beam at this point?
I would say officially 12 and up.
Okay.
And then if you are a parent and you're GMing your kids, you probably can manage it. They could be a little younger if they're being guided.
Sure. I love that.
Yeah, and to help out with that, the Sandbox quests and the adventures are all marked by a tone.
Okay.
And there are 3 tones. And so we've got hijinks, daring do, and doom and gloom. Doom and gloom is like the more serious, dangerous things that you probably don't want to play with your kids. Whereas hijinks is silly and fun. You think like The Hobbit or
Sure.
Or just the Muppets, just the Muppets aspect.
Yep.
Yeah. The Great Muppet Caper is a great example.
Absolutely.
And then Daring Do is like a heroic Princess Bride, Lord of the Rings type of thing.
Nice, very cool. Let's talk a little bit about the pledge levels that you've got going on. Let's actually, we can just bring them right up if we want. For $30, you can pledge and you'll get the core rulebook, which for like a 200 some odd page book, that's a pretty decent deal. I feel
Yeah.
That's
we wanted to be able to get it to the people that are supporting it at a great price because
Sure.
it's a full color hardcover.
That's awesome. And then you also get all the digital stretch goals that I guess are unlocked. And then you get a PDF of the Mucklands map, which is super cool. And for just $5 more, you can get the digital Dungeoneer, which is all the books and the map and all the digital stretch goals. Which, I mean, if you do the math on that, like that's a crazy amount per page. Like that's super like that's like what, like 1,000 pages of content if I just off the top of my head for like $35. Like that's ridiculous, guys.
I mean, you
it's a
can't
lot.
beat it.
You really can't.
You really can't. That's a ton of material.
Yeah, James and I, like after the campaign, see the prices are slashed for this campaign. But afterwards we want to make the digital books like, we want to make them accessible to people and have people play the game rather than price out a really expensive PDF.
Sure.
Right.
It just I mean, it just blows my mind that's just so much content for $35. And then you've got the 3 books themselves, the hardcover books for $90. We should probably preface this by saying, or just mention that shipping is not included with these prices.
That's right.
It will be added in the pledge manager after the fact. And do you ship internationally as well? Is your campaign good for North America and the rest of the world, or
yes, it is?
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, Exalted Funeral has a good system.
Yeah, I've dealt with them quite a bit, and they do a great job shipping. I just wasn't sure if, and of course I'm in the States, so never quite sure how it is for the rest of the world. Yeah. $90 for those 3 books. Again, what is that? It's like 800 pages of content for not like it's just guys. It's just crazy.
You know what? I'm going to come out and say it. I appreciate that you appreciate the scope of this game.
I mean, I've been doing this for a while, and it's just like, whenever somebody like comes on and it's like, okay, that's cool. It's like $45 for like a 250, 300. That's like twice that value. I'm just gonna say, like, if anybody's watching this, you're gonna get some a lot of bang for your buck with these pledge levels.
When James and I were making this game, we didn't know how we were gonna put it out. It was like
Sure.
we're just doing it as a labor of love. We were always like, we're gonna make something that is the scope is so big that people just can't ignore it. Basically.
So you
overwhelm them with content. They're just gonna be like,
we've got 9 more sandboxes coming, and this, that, and the other.
That's awesome. I love it. And you've got over 1,700 people that are loving it as well, which is super cool.
It's really exciting. Huge thanks to all those supporters, man.
Absolutely. And then for $110, you get the box set, which right now it includes the map, the box. And now is the box going to be pretty? Have you seen any pre-production materials?
We've heard it's a pretty sturdy box.
Is it a pretty sturdy box?
Yeah,
nice.
It's designed to be able to hold 3 heavy books and
I would think it'd have to be.
Yeah, as well as possibly a whole set of meeples. Currently, we're at 1 meeple and really close to 2 meeples.
Yeah, we're super close to 2 meeples.
If you look far ahead in the stretch goals,
yep,
there is a dice set and a GM screen.
Yeah,
so that will all go in the box.
I love that. And you're using for the GM screen, you want to use the cover image. Is that what I remember seeing for the core rulebook?
John Lauren, the artist behind the Mucklin Sandbox cover, is going to expand it to show us the rest of what's going on in that adventure scene. And so we're super excited for that and can't wait to share more.
And then you probably have more details for the back of it and stuff. We won't get into that because it hasn't been unlocked yet, and we'll save that for later on.
Well, we can say that the back of it will just have a lot of the core rules that you'll need to
quick reference, easy to use.
Yeah, excellent. And then we get the all the PDFs and everything, guys. Again, outstanding as far as how you priced everything and oh wait a minute, there's another totally another $170. This is the big one. So if you really want to dive into Land of Eam, not only do you get the box set, but you also get the other books that you've put out before this campaign.
Exactly. We got our
definitely the most comprehensive way to join the Land of Eam if you get the graphic novel series and then the new series first book kicking off.
And the books also the Rickety Stitch and the Dungeoneer Adventures, like those are signed. You guys are gonna sign those and and send them to send them along with the pledges.
We're gonna sign book plates so that people can put the plate wherever they want in the book.
Oh, nice. That's very cool. Wait a minute. I can't remember if I've scrolled. Did I scroll any longer? Sure enough. Retailers, and I know I've got some retailers on this that watch this show. Retailers, if you're interested in this, you get 5 copies for 50% off MSRP, and you can also get access to the exclusive discounted add-ons. Love it. I love the fact that you also are looking out for brick and mortar stores because that's very important, and that's the lifeblood of this hobby and this industry. And
absolutely.
So, Exalted Funerals on top of that, and
very cool, guys. I'm super stoked for you. So you've got how many more days? You got like 21 more days, I think, is what we decided. You're
21.
Yeah. So you're going to be still live all the way through Gen Con, which we mentioned before we went live. And you're not going to be at Gen Con, but you said Bagger Kit's going to be there. And so are they going? They're going to be promoting Land of Eam while they're at Gen Con.
Yeah, we're going to have some flyers with QR codes, and they're going to kind of be pushing Land of Eam there, which is awesome.
Yeah, you'll be able to download the Quick Start Guide, which you can do for free. You can download the Quick Start Guide for free. Check out the game. Comes with the map and the pre-gen characters, so you can try it out. And if you're looking for a group, you can jump on our Discord. There's people always looking for groups to get together and start playing.
Very cool. Very cool. If folks would like to know more, you mentioned the Discord. Is there any other avenues to kind of stay in touch with y'all, see what you all are doing? Is there a website or some social media that we should mention?
For sure, yeah, definitely. Landofeme.com is the most comprehensive place, and we have a great newsletter that's got a bunch of goodies in it, as well as updates, background, like things to check out, and that way you don't miss anything. And then in social media, you can just @Rickety Stitch. And you'll find us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and Discord. You can find on our website or on the campaign page, I believe. We've got a list.
Join the community if you go down.
The community section's got the YouTube channel as well. We play every week on Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific.
Nice.
With our buddy George, who is I got to shout out to George because he has been a diehard Land of Eem beta tester for years.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's our lead play tester.
He's the lead play tester.
That's awesome.
And he's great to bounce ideas off of, and he's been a real sport.
Very cool. So this is something you've been working on for quite a few years. Then this is. I didn't even get to that question. That this is something you've been working on for how many years up until this point? Do you think?
I recently looked back at some Google Docs, just the dates on them, and the first one was 2014.
Wow!
Like the initial ideas.
The file folders are still called Rickety RPG.
Yeah.
Love that. Very cool.
It's definitely morphed a lot, and the scope obviously has gotten huge to where there's 3 giant books. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. When there's an expected delivery date? Of course, we all know the way crowdfunding works, and with printing and publications, sometimes there's delays, and sometimes there's stuff that's out of our control that we can't. But you have a projected delivery date for this project of. I read Q3, it at some point.
Yeah, the projected delivery for the physical stuff is Q3 2023. Okay. The good news is, a lot of the heavy lifting on the creative work, like the books are written, like this it exists. So the challenges are just navigating, shipping and manufacturing in a post-COVID world is going to be a little bit challenging. But luckily, Exalted Funerals really got their handle on that, and we feel pretty comfortable with the physical deliverables being Q3 2023, and the digital ones before that. So people will be able to get into the game and start playing and enjoy it, and then they'll get the nice shiny package in the mail and can enjoy the books in real life.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time and coming on and talking about Land of Eem. It's a product that as soon as I saw it, I was super excited. Justin was right. I was super stoked to see it and learn more and more about it. I'll remind viewers and listeners that if you're interested in anything that we've talked about or shown on screen here, check out the link in the description. I'd love to have you back if when this project's all said and done and you're ready to do Sandbox number 2, campaign Sandbox the number 2 book. Feel free to reach out, and if you're excited about Land of Eem as a viewer, let me know in the comments, and we'll make sure to pass that along, guys. Is there any last words you'd like to say before we sign off?
I mean, I'd like to thank you for having us on, because it's been super fun. And I'd like to thank everybody that's been pledging for Land of Eem so far. It's without their support, it would be impossible. And we're really just kind of taken aback by how much love we've been getting about the game. And and we're really close to that mushroom meeple stretch goal. We're like this close, guys.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I echo those statements, and we'd be happy to come back and talk about whatever.
Oh, for sure.
Other
Anytime.
Release we've got.
I'm super excited to see more and more people get into the tabletop hobby in the industry and as creative people. And you can tell that both of you are just super, super creative, and you have a passion for not only the setting that you've built and developed, but the tabletop aspect of things as well. So I'm excited to see more and more folks just kind of come in here and hit it hard, and with some cool ideas and some really cool products like Land of Eem. So thank you so much for being a part and being a new aspect of this hobby, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for both of you and for this product line. So
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Doug.
very cool. Thank you so much to everybody that joined us. If you have any other questions, just let us know in the chat. I'll make sure to pass them over to James and Ben. And yeah, remember, winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time. Bye now. Let's see here. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you would be so kind, and make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe, all the YouTube jazz that we're supposed to do here. It really is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to support us more, you can check us out on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/victoryconditiongaming. Have all sorts